Good morning, good afternoon, or good day to wherever you are. For this program, let's talk about OMM research, DO-Touch.NET's fourth episode of our new series. Today is our winter quarterly update on our activities and plans for the upcoming year. My name is Brian Degenhart. I'm the director of the Research Institute. And first of all, I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year from around the world. And our membership is from all around the world. We now have over 730 members throughout the world. Almost 400 of them are in the United States. Over 150 of them are in Germany. About 110 are in Brazil, and 69 are then distributed to other countries throughout the world. So I want to welcome all of you to today's program. Last decade, our goals were to establish the network and to engage membership primarily in research and to help bring them into research by engaging membership at annual meetings and providing continuing education. Last year, our annual meeting was held in Colorado Springs with the American Academy of Osteopathy. Initially, we had our annual meetings here in Kirksville, but to try to increase engagement of membership, we moved that to just before the Academy meeting. Last year, it was at a very unusual time. We can see here that last year with the onset of COVID, that at the time of the American Academy of Osteopathy's convocation, the pandemic was just beginning to involve the entire world on very significant levels. And we can see the increasing rates of infection just beginning to skyrocket at this moment when our annual meeting occurred last year. After going through a couple of weeks of quarantining, having been at that meeting, as a clinician, I was required to continue seeing patients on an emergency basis, but basically no faculty, staff, or students were able to come onto campus from April into July. During that time, many policies changed on what have now become our usual activities, with wearing face masks, maintaining social distancing, having screening every time we go into the building. Here, one of our mannequins was even screened to make sure it did not have a temperature before joining the university community. In January, 1 year ago, this is what our manipulative medicine labs looked like. When we opened up the program again in July, that same room had to be simplified to this type of scenario where we only had a few tables. All students wore masks and gloves. We had to then take another set of tables into our gymnasium and turn that into a training area. We are only able to have a quarter of the class in both of those rooms, so we're teaching twice as much and in a very unique fashion. This was our Research Institute in 2019 when a German film crew was there to look at the work that we do with objective models to help with the development of accurate palpation skills. And now we have plastic curtains between each row in order to try to minimize the amount of airflow that could cause the transmission of the virus. And students are wearing masks and gloves also to minimize that transmission. Unfortunately, we've been very successful since July in significantly minimizing any transmission of the virus. We were not able to have any continuing education programs, particularly our Advancing Skills in Osteopathy program. None existed in 2020. Even our Founders Day program, which has gone on since the 1920s, occurred primarily virtually, and we had a drive-through where people could have a brief interaction with various members of the university. So 2020, in our goal of engagement at annual meetings, continuing education, was very difficult. And that was also true for research. And through this year, we've been primarily working on developing and testing electronic data system in preparation for establishing an osteopathic manipulative medicine patient registry. And so then came 2021. And although there was a variety of fanfare, it was very, very different in how people could actually participate. And while the numbers that looked very bad in the early 2020, back in March and April, and that I showed you earlier, it does not even compare to what we're seeing now. Those earlier graphs occurred with the rate of infections occurring at this time, and we can see now that it is far beyond any comprehension that we might have had a year ago. So how are we going to address our goals for 2021? We certainly want to increase the engagement with our membership, and through annual meeting, continuing education, and research. So what are our updates? So the annual meeting for the American Academy of Osteopathy, occurring in March in 2021, is actually going virtual. That decision was just made 2 days ago, and so there will be no in-person conference. As a result, DO-Touch.NET is going to become a gold sponsor at the virtual convocation. And so each day we will have special programming for our members to join us in. As you can see in today's activity, we've already established monthly programming to bring membership together. Part of it is to keep you updated on a quarterly basis like we're doing right now. And on the other 2 months, we will have an educational webinar and a journal club to help continue to increase our understanding of the work that we do, preparing us for future research, and increasing our knowledge of the evidence associated with manual therapies. We are continuing to prepare for the launching of the patient registry, which Jane Johnson, the Associate Director, will be updating us on in a moment. We'll continue to be working on publishing completed studies, and we are working on a new initiative within the A.T. Still Research Institute, which is the International Congress of Manual Therapies. The International Congress of Manual Therapies is an organization whose goal is to bring together interprofessional clinicians and views around manual therapies, along with scientists and evidence about the neuromusculoskeletal systems and the circulatory system, to build an ongoing platform for premier research and collaboration within the field of manual therapy. Our inaugural conference was supposed to be in May of 2021, but has been postponed to May 6th through the 8th, 2022 in Phoenix, Arizona. And we will be giving you updates on that throughout this upcoming year. So with that, I would like to now pass on the platform to Jane to give us further updates.